Hello Moto GP enthusiasts. Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Dani Pedrosa analyzed Friday's running at Silverstone for DAZN, calling Marco Bezzecchi's pace brutal, after the Aprilia rider shredded the lap record on soft rubber. Pedrosa's breakdown focused on tire strategy, sector-by-sector speed, and how the session underlined Aprilia's benchmark status heading into the rest of the weekend. Marc Márquez admitted he is not yet fast enough to fight for the podium after Friday practice at Silverstone, where Aprilia and Marco Bezzecchi set the early benchmark. The Ducati rider, still managing right arm fitness issues, finished 6th and conceded he's currently closer to the top 5 than the podium, setting a cautious tone for the rest of the weekend. Bagnaia struggled through Friday practice at Silverstone, the Italian once again hampered by a familiar issue, an inability to arrest the DAZN set-aside's front end under heavy braking. A late crash at turn 6 ended his time attack and left him 13th, outside Q2, as he and Ducati search for a balance that lets him stop the bike without inducing dangerous front-end instability. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. Pedrosa singled out Marco Bezzecchi's soft tire runs as the defining feature of Friday. Bezzechi produced consistent 58-second laps early on, then unleashed two explosive runs, a 57.1s and a 56.2s, that reset the outright pace and left rivals scrambling to match the intensity. Bezzechi, then he was stratospheric, 57.1s, the first run with the soft tire and the second 56.2s brutal. A double run like that on soft rubber signals both confidence in the bike's balance and a team willing to prioritize qualifying trim speed early in the weekend. Pedrosa mapped how different tire programs produced the session order. Riders who split time between medium and soft rears, like Raul Fernandez and Fabio Di Giannantonio, showed strong progression, while those who committed to soft rubber late in the session were able to break into the 50 SIXS. Teams must now weigh the short-term gain of soft tire speed against the need for race durability and consistent front-end feel over longer stints. Pedrosa highlighted Bezzecchi's dominance across 3 of Silverstone's 4 sectors, noting the Italian set the benchmark in sectors 1, 2 and 4 and was only marginally behind in the third. That balance, strong entry, mid-corner and exit speed, explained why his lap was so far ahead. When a rider leads multiple sectors, it indicates a holistic package advantage, engine, aero and chassis all working in concert. Despite Aprilia's Friday advantage, Pedrosa observed that Ducati riders, notably Di Giannantonio and Jorge Martin, remained competitive and could close the gap with different tire choices or setup tweaks. The session suggested a two-horse fight for pace, with other manufacturers still searching for the optimal compromise. Silverstone's long, flowing layout rewards top-end stability and tire management. Small setup gains can translate into significant lap time recovery. Pedrosa's read is that teams will now decide whether to chase single-lap glory or prioritize race confidence. Aprilia's soft tire dominance forces rivals into a strategic choice: match the qualifying aggression or focus on race pace and tire life. Weather and session timing will further complicate those decisions. Expect teams to refine front-end feel and tire windows overnight. The balance between qualifying position and Sunday durability will shape race strategies. Friday's session at Silverstone put Marco Bezzecchi and Aprilia firmly in the spotlight, with a blistering soft tire performance that reset expectations. Ducati and other contenders remain within striking distance, but Pedrosa's analysis suggests the weekend will be a tactical chess match. Can rivals find the setup and tire plan to neutralize Aprilia's one-lap advantage while preserving race-long competitiveness? After 2 practice sessions at the British Grand Prix, Márquez assessed his pace honestly. He's off the outright leaders and needs work to close the gap. Silverstone's flowing layout has historically favored Aprilia, and Friday's timesheet reflected that dynamic. Márquez's backslash, plus 0.733 s deficit to the top underlined the challenge ahead. At the moment we are far from the podium, closer to the top 5, but even I'm not in the top 5. Márquez framed the result as expected given the circuit characteristics and his current physical state, treating Friday as a diagnostic day rather than a performance benchmark. Silverstone's long, flowing corners reward chassis balance and sustained corner speed, areas where Aprilia has shown an edge this season. Márquez acknowledged the pattern. Ducati tends to excel in stop-and-go sections, while Aprilia gains time through linked, high-speed changes of direction. That contrast makes Silverstone a circuit where Márquez must manage deficits rather than exploit Ducati strengths. Márquez reiterated that his riding style is ingrained and that, at 33, wholesale changes are difficult. He said attempts to mimic his brother Alex's lines had backfired in the past, producing instability rather than gains. Combined with lingering right arm issues, the result is a cautious approach, adapt where possible, but prioritize consistency and feel. My riding style is my riding style. Riders with long careers often face a trade-off between adapting to new bike characteristics and preserving the techniques that made them successful. Márquez is balancing both. Ducati still has competitive options. Alex Márquez and Fabio Di Giannantonio showed pace that could translate into podiums, but Marc's focus is pragmatic: find the top 5 rhythm, refine front-end feel, and avoid overreaching. The team will likely prioritize setup changes that improve confidence through Silverstone's rapid direction changes rather than chasing marginal qualifying gains. Márquez described Silverstone as a damage limitation round where incremental improvements will matter. Expect Ducati engineers to focus on front-end stability and tire management, while Márquez will test small changes rather than radical shifts. If the team can recover a few tenths through setup and tire choices, a top 5 finish is realistic. Podium contention will require a bigger step or rivals to falter. Friday's practice confirmed the challenge ahead for Marc Márquez at Silverstone, a circuit that accentuates Aprilia's strengths and exposes Ducati's relative weaknesses in flowing sections. With fitness still a factor and a deeply ingrained riding style, Márquez's weekend will be about measured gains and managing expectations. If Ducati can improve front-end confidence and Márquez finds a usable rhythm, he can limit the damage and target a strong points haul. Otherwise, the focus will shift to recovery and a more favorable Aragon round. Bagnaia posted a 1 minute and 57.691 seconds before losing the front on his second flying lap and crashing at turn 6. He was unhurt and described the fall as a normal lose the front incident, but the underlying symptom, violent front vibration and a rear that felt like it was pushing him into the corner, is one he has battled intermittently over the past season and a half. I'm struggling a lot to stop the bike and I just tried to brake harder and I lost it. TV footage and Bagnaia's own description pointed to pronounced front-end vibration at the moment of the fall. He explained that the rear tire was pushing him into the corner, which in turn made the bike difficult to slow and settle for the turn. That dynamic produces a twitchy, nervous front that can break traction suddenly under heavy braking. This chain of events is particularly dangerous at Silverstone, where high entry speeds and heavy braking zones leave little margin for recovery. Several interacting elements can create the behavior Bagnaia described: rear-end instability from tire load or chassis geometry, aggressive brake bias or ABS/electronics mapping, aero balance that shifts load unpredictably under braking, or a mismatch in tire temperature and compound choice. Bagnaia noted that other Ducati riders are faster, suggesting the issue may be setup-specific rather than a universal chassis failure. Bagnaia said he will review other riders' data to find improvements, a standard approach when one rider experiences instability that others do not. Ducati's immediate tasks are to adjust brake feel and bias, tweak rear-end geometry or damping to reduce the push, and experiment with tire pressures and compounds to stabilize the front contact patch under heavy deceleration. Missing Q2 at Silverstone costs grid position and increases the risk of a compromised race, particularly on a circuit that punishes mistakes. For Bagnaia, returning from arm surgery and already managing recovery, the instability is a double setback. It reduces immediate competitiveness and complicates the physical and mental task of pushing through a long weekend. If Ducati can find a solution that restores front confidence, Bagnaia could recover through the weekend. If not, the team may need to prioritize conservative race management and focus on circuits more suited to the DAZN strengths. Pecco Bagnaia's Silverstone practice underlined a recurring technical headache: the DAZN's front-end instability when the rear pushes into corners. Ducati's engineers will lean on telemetry comparisons, suspension and brake adjustments, and tire experiments to find a usable compromise. The clock is short. Qualifying and race strategy will hinge on how quickly the team can restore braking confidence and prevent further late-session incidents that cost grid places and momentum. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your Moto GP news update. And see you next time!